Hi, my name's Nick Manning, author of How to Be a Tour Guide, the essential training manual for tour guides and tour managers. And today I want to talk to you about tips. Now, tips as a tour manager are your lifeblood, and quite often there is more potential to earn money from tips than there is from any other method of earning money as a guide. And this is something to remember when you're planning a tour or when designing a tour. First, let's talk about what not to do when asking for tips, because I've seen this a lot in the industry and some people can do it very poorly. Don't use guilt trips. They just don't work, guys. No matter how much you make people feel sorry for you, it's not going to earn you more money in tips. It's just going to make a really bad experience. Don't go constantly blabbing about tips either. People get the idea pretty quickly about how you earn money, and they'll keep it in the back of their head as they watch you over the course of the tour. Now let's talk about what to do to earn tips. And there's a couple of really good rules of thumb that will get you right on your way very quickly to earning money as a tour guide using tips. The first is kind of self-explanatory. Make sure you give a good tour. Make sure that people feel like they've gotten value for money out of your tour as well. What that means is that whatever price they've paid to go on the tour, they need to feel like they've experienced more than that. Because if they feel like they've experienced more, they'll be willing to give a portion of that to you as a gratuity at the end. Now, your tip spiel will depend on a number of things. Your company, because some companies have very specific ideas about what they want you to say for a spiel, or if they want you to say one at all. It will also depend on your personality, and it will also depend on your clients. For example, Americans versus Australians. Americans have a very strong concept of what tipping is already. Australians have almost no concept, and how you treat these people and explain the tipping concept will depend on how you do your spiel. There's a myriad of different ways to talk about tips, but I'm going to give you one method that I've found over and over and over works for me. I call it the 4-stage method because it is a series of very easy and clear stages. The first stage is something to do before you even see your clients, and that is practice. Now, tipping is not the time that you should be nervous or stuttering or forgetting your lines. It should flow off your tongue like it's second nature. You need to stand in front of a mirror and you need to practice over and over and over again what you're going to say until it's second nature. Once you've practiced it and once you know what you're saying, then video yourself, because it's kind of funny having someone else watch you. You get nervous and you don't know what you're saying and you stumble, and you also, when you play it back, you get to find out when you're saying and when you're looking around and when you're not, and when you're looking at your feet. And all these things play a part of how well you earn tips. The second point is that I always give people warning. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean that tipping comes at the end of a tour. It's very rare to get tipped at the start. I've had it happen once, but mostly people will tip you after the end of the tour. I like to warn people at the start in a very gentle and positive way that it's going to happen and it's something they should be thinking about. That way they can judge me over the course of the tour to find out whether they think that I'm worth tipping, and if so, how much they think I'm worth tipping. You would do this, you would give people warning by having a welcome spiel on your first day, where you welcome people into the group, where you explain the concept of what's going to happen, and then where you talk about things that go on your tour. For example, we'll be stopping for a drink here, or we'll be doing something here, and then casually leading to the conclusion of the tour. And maybe a warning is as simple as going, and at the end of the tour, I'll be available to answer any questions, and if you'd like, to receive gratuities. Now, this third stage is really relevant for people on longer tours, and we're talking about multi-day tours or extended tours here. Tours where people get to watch you and talk to you over and over again on a daily basis, and you get to help them multiple times during the course of the tour. And my suggestion for here is to ask for a daily amount. Now, this can be as simple as at the start of a tour or midway through when you're talking to people and mentioning the word tip, that you talk about maybe putting some money aside each day in case they think that they want to give that to you at the end. This can be as simple as saying, guys, at the end of the tour, I'll be available for any questions. I'd love to hang out and have a chat to you. This is also the time when I'll be earning tips if you think that I deserve them. On tours, most people like to put aside $5 or $10 a day, and then at the end, that's a nice little bonus that they don't have to worry about, that they can then give me if they wish. If you do say this, sometimes people can get uncomfortable about putting aside specific monetary amounts. And I find the way around this is to actually associate it with something that they're already used to spending. For example, coffee. So I might say, guys, someone asked me about tips the other day, and yes, I do receive tips at the end of the tour. If you want, it's totally your choice. What I like to say to people is put aside the price of a cup of coffee a day. And then at the end, if you think that I've given you more value than a cup of coffee a day, that might be a great way to start calculating my tips. And you can go from there. So the fourth stage in asking for tips is really the first stage in asking the customer for a tip. And that is at the end of a tour, once it's all over, standing up and giving a very short spiel about how you deserve or why you deserve tips. This can be as simple as highlighting some of the great parts of the tour that you know people have enjoyed, and then standing back and saying, thank you very much for your time. I'd love to have a chat to you each and answer any questions. And of course, if you do wish to give me a gratuity, I'm always happy to receive it. If you have liked the video, I'd really appreciate a like or subscribe or even a share. It helps me get the word out about this fantastic profession. If you'd like some more information or to purchase my book, you can click on the link below, or you can go to www.thetourguidebook.com. How to Be a Tour Guide is available as an ebook download, which means you can be reading it in as little as 5 minutes from now.